Hey guys, it's Scott here and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be doing my Game Week 1 predictions for the upcoming Premier League match week. If you do want to see this kind of thing every single week for the Premier League, then make sure you hit the thumbs up so that I know that it's getting good feedback. If you are new to the channel, you want to see more content regarding football, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And also, if you go over to Twitch, then you can go and see us live stream over there as well. So let's not mess about. It's Game Week 1. It's a brand new season of the Prem. So much uncertainty ahead, but so much excitement as well. It all starts tonight as this video is going live with Brentford against Arsenal. So that's the first one that we're going to have a look at. So 8 PM on Friday, curtain raiser for the Premier League. Unsurprising that it's a promoted team doing this one. It is a big, momentous occasion. Fans are back in stadiums and they are completely full now. It's incredible. After last year just being chaotic for everybody involved, fans, players, everything. It was just a bizarre season. So it's great to have some normality back. And Brentford coming up to the Premier League, Ivan Toney, the star man that everyone is looking for in their fantasy teams as well as just normal Brentford fans. By the way, if you haven't checked out my fantasy football league, then there will be a link in the description where you can go and check out the video to go and join my league. But they are coming up against Arsenal now. Very early team news. Aubameyang and Lacazette both out. Ill. Unwell. So Arsenal already having to make changes to their starting 11 for the first game of the season against a newly promoted side away from home. It's not going to be easy for them. However, with the pressure that basically grew and grew last season over Arteta and the club as a whole, their fans getting really irate about the lack of transfer activity, etc. It now looks like they're going to sign Ødegaard potentially as that sort of number 10. Sort of, I don't even know, is he going to play alongside Smith Rowe? Are they going to rotate? I'm not too sure, but that looks like what they're going to do there. They signed Ben White as well. So they put a bit of money in, but it still feels a little bit lackluster compared to the Arsenal of old. So are there going to be fireworks on the first day of the season? That is what I want to hear from you. Each week, if you guys give us some good feedback and response on this and you do want to see these kind of predictions each week, then what we'll do is a mini point scoring system. It'll all be just for fun and games. Basically, if you get the correct scoreline, you'll get a whopping 5 points. If you get the correct result, then you'll get 3 points. If you get it completely wrong, 0 points. So obviously the maximum that you're going to be able to get each week is 50 if somehow you are just Rain Man or something and manage to somehow get every single result right. You should probably put some money on that somewhere. So today, the first result I think for the Premier League season is going to be 2-1 Arsenal. I think they'll just have a little bit too much with Brentford. It is a massive step up from the Championship to the Premier League, and I feel like Arsenal want to get things off on a very, very strong note to sort of appease some of the fans and everything like that. Next up is the early game on the Saturday. This is a huge one. Man United v Leeds. This was built up massively going into last season, as Leeds obviously got promoted, and it was going to be incredible. Either at Ellen Road or Old Trafford, and just getting the fans clashing and everything like that. The atmosphere was going to be incredible. And then everything happened and we weren't allowed fans in the stadium. And so this is going to be the first proper time where that old school rivalry is going to kick back into gear. Leeds impressed massively last season, and Man United actually did okay considering everything that was going on. They've now brought in Sancho, who is available to play against Leeds. However, Varane still has not been cleared as a signing, which means he cannot play a part against Leeds tomorrow. So, what do I think? I mean, Man U at home, they're building and building and building towards the kind of juggernaut Man United that we had in the past. I feel like they're pretty much that Varane confirmation and a defensive mid away from being a giant, dangerous and scary squad to play against. Leeds, on the other hand, very exciting, especially for a neutral. Leeds play some of the most entertaining football in the league. And so this game should be incredible, really. So my prediction is going to be one of a decent amount of goals. And I hope that it's really entertaining. I'm going to go 2-2. Next we move on to the 3 o'clock kickoffs on the Saturday. Burnley v Brighton, not really one that jumps out at you and screams, hey, this is going to be an incredible game. Burnley, I mean, you'll see if you looked at my Premier League predictions video, which, cough cough, went up on my channel earlier today. Go and check that one out if you want to see my full predictions and everything else in between, including top goal scorer, golden glove, etc. I think this is going to be a tight game, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's a 0-0, but I'm optimistic when it comes to goals. I'm going to go with 1-1 between Burnley and Brighton. Next up, Chelsea v Palace. Now, one big thing going into this game, Lukaku is not available. They've confirmed his signing and everything like that, and it's huge, but he is not available to play against Palace. So they are going to have to stick with, I guess, Werner or maybe even Havertz as a false 9 up front. But I feel like they're still going to be way too good for Palace. I'm going to go 3-0 Chelsea. Next up is Everton versus Southampton. Two teams that are not looking quite as good as they did at the start of last season. Last season, you'd brought in James Rodriguez, Allen, Carlo Ancelotti. This season, you've got Rafa Benitez, a James that doesn't want to be there, a DCL with a little bit of an injury. It's not quite the oomph that they had before. Southampton have lost Danny Ings. They are losing Vestergaard to us as well, one of their back four. And so, even though I like Hasenhüttl, they're not in the best position either. So this is a really hard one for me to call. And I don't normally like going for draws, but I think this might be another one. I'm going to go for 1-1 in this game as well. The penultimate 3 p.m. kickoff is your boys Leicester against Wolves. Now, in the past, I was a bit more scared of Wolves under Nuno. I have absolutely no idea what to expect going into this new season with the new manager and everything like that. They do have Raul Jimenez back. Is he going to be the same as he was before, pre-awful injury? It's impossible to tell. You'd imagine that he probably wouldn't be as deadly in the air as he was because he'd always have that worry of potentially something happening again. I hope for his sake that he does get back to the heights that he had before because he was getting linked to all the big teams because he was so good. However, we've been looking good. We won the Community Shield against Manchester City. Okay, they played a few youngsters in there as well, but we still did very well in that game. We beat Villarreal in the game before that. Obviously, we have the Fofana injury, which is massive for us, and it sucks. But Vestergaard should be coming in. However, at the time of recording, he hasn't been announced, and so, in theory, he shouldn't be able to play tomorrow because he hasn't been registered early enough, unless they're just waiting to announce him. So, Daniel Amati probably going to be starting at centre-back for Leicester. But the rest of the team is looking very, very good. The new signings, Daka, Soumare, Bertrand, smashing it all in pre-season. I'm confident going into this first game of the season. It would suck to slip up against Wolves, but I have that confidence. I'm not 1,000,000% confident at the back, so I'm going to go with 3-1 to us. Leicester. And then the last 3 p.m. kickoff is Watford, newly promoted against Aston Villa, who obviously lost Jack Grealish for £100 million to Manchester City, although they have replaced him with 3 players. Danny Ings, a signing that came out of absolutely nowhere, especially in modern times. You don't hear like a player going to a new club without their leaks of there being a medical or, a fee has been agreed, there are negotiations. No, literally, Twitter just went mad when it was like, yeah, we've signed Danny Ings. What? So that was huge for them. They've got Leon Bailey and they've got Emi Buendia, who is a baller as well. So Villa, it's going to be interesting to see how they perform without the Grealish factor and with these new signings in place, like what formation they're going to run. Are they going to have that chemistry together? Because yes, they are 3 good players, but that doesn't automatically mean that it works. So it's tricky, to be honest with you. Watford, I don't think are going to do that well this season. So I'm going to go with a Villa win, and I'm going to go with 2-0 to Aston Villa. We move on to the Sunday fixtures now, and there are only 2. The first being Newcastle versus West Ham. Now, 2 interesting teams for this upcoming season. West Ham had Lingard on loan last year, and he sort of spurred them on to do really, really well second half of the season. It was crazy how good he was for them. Not been able to retain him, though. However, Ben Rama is looking like he may make that step up. He failed to do so last season, didn't perform that well, but now it's looking like, okay, this might be the guy that we thought we were signing before. So that's really exciting for them. Antonio most likely going to be starting up front. There's decent things to be excited about as a West Ham fan, hopefully building on from last season, hitting that European place, etc, etc. Newcastle, on the other hand, their main problem is fitness, really. Callum Wilson and Saint Maximin are great players on their day. However, the injuries happen so often. If they keep Wilson fit, Almiron behind him, and Saint Maximin playing week in, week out, oh my god, they'll fly up the table compared to what they would do without those key players. So this could be a really, really tight game, and I'm really interested to watch this game on the Sunday, to be honest with you. I think that West Ham will just edge it. I feel like they are a slightly better and more cohesive team. So I'm going to go with 2-1 West Ham. And then the last game of this weekend, Spurs Man City. The Kane Derby, as it's being said on Twitter. It's poor, isn't it? It's really poor. Obviously, Kane is looming large over this fixture. Will he be going to Manchester City? There's a couple weeks left of the transfer window. It's still possible. It will take a massive sum of probably about £150 million. But you've just seen City splash the cash on Grealish. People like Fabrizio are saying that they are willing to bid that high for Kane. It could happen if Levy thinks, okay, I can't turn this offer down. We've got to accept it. We'll try and rebuild. Slightly better than they did with the Bale money, where they bought like 7 signings and about 2 of them worked out. So it's going to be a very interesting one if that does happen. However, at the time of recording, Kane should be fit to play and will be playing for Tottenham against Manchester City. Now, Man City obviously lost the Community Shield to us. They still have a couple of players out. Now, De Bruyne, Foden, etc. Massive, massive misses for them. And that could play a key part in this. However, the remainder of their team looking good. You've got people like Grealish in there now. Riyad has been smashing it in pre-season. Spurs, you're relying on Kane, you're relying on Son, really, going forward at this stage. They obviously lost out on Bale, who, as it was getting towards the end of the season, was looking better and better. But he's now gone. They have brought in Gilles, who, I mean, he's very highly rated. Will he be jumping straight into the starting 11, starting week in, week out and smashing it? It's impossible to say, but very interesting to see how they're going to perform under Nuno. Are they going to change formation? Are they going to go to the 5-back kind of thing that we saw at Wolves with the bombing forward wing-backs? Doherty obviously did really well under Nuno at Wolves. He's still at Spurs. Will he now be starting week in, week out? Reguilon going up the other side. They got Romero in defence. It's interesting to say the least. However, I do believe that for the final game of this weekend, the Game Week 1 match week for the Premier League, Man City are just going to be too much for Spurs, and I think that they're going to win 3-1. So I've gone with a lot of goals in all of these games because I like entertaining football. I like there to be goals. There wants to be fireworks. People like to be entertained. So let me know all of your predictions down in the comment section down below, and also let me know if you would be interested in seeing this as a weekly segment on the channel. We'll probably do it every Friday, assuming that there's a Friday game each week, and give my predictions on that. We may do a sort of review of results on maybe the Monday afterwards, but we'll see how that goes. But for now, thank you so much for the support on the channel. You're absolutely smashing it. Thumb up this video, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.